This is a Zero DSR-X. It's the first adventure bike from Zero. It is all electric, it is smooth, it is quiet, and it's perfect for a world that we don't live in. Zero markets this as an adventure bike, and I don't blame them. It looks the part, more or less. It certainly weighs the part at over 500 pounds. It costs the part. If you put this up against a R1250 GS, the numbers seem to make sense. Sure, this is an adventure bike. But if you really want to go adventuring, there are two ways to go about it. On the one hand, you can go off-roading, but for that you need spoked wheels, you need a 21-incher up front. You need more ground clearance than this, more suspension travel. This is not a bike for that kind of adventure. The other side, the 1250 GS side, you could say that this is for touring, it's for long distances. You've got a 19-inch front wheel, you've got alloys rather than spokes. Sure, but you don't have the highway range for it. Electric bikes massively lose out on range on the highway because, well, this is not very aerodynamic. So you're stuck with an adventure bike that can't really adventure. You could argue that that's totally useless, but I disagree. I think that this adventure bike is maybe the best commuter bike ever made. Where a normal motorcycle would have a fuel tank, this one obviously doesn't need it. So instead, I have empty space between my legs. I don't just mean that it's open there, I mean that it's a lockable cargo compartment. This motorcycle has a trunk. It's not huge, you're not going to be buying all of your groceries for a week, but you could probably buy them all for a night. Everything that makes this bike look adventurous and earn it that title in the marketing copy actually makes it great on the daily ride. I've got heated grips here. I've got wind blockers for my hands. The windshield adjusts. The seat is comfortable depending on where you sit. I tend to sit a little further up toward the tank, and that is admittedly not as comfortable as sitting a little further back. But that all comes down to the length of your legs. Your mileage may vary. See, we associate power with noise. Your Ducatis, your Aprilias, everything that makes power has to make noise about it. But electric motors are a little different. This thing has more than twice the torque of my BMW F800 GS, not a small bike. And despite it weighing more, it can still do this. Being electric, the torque comes on instantly. 1 second you're keeping pace with traffic, the next, the cars that were next to you have disappeared in your rear view like they're stationary. The power on this bike, the power delivery on this bike is addicting. The brakes, to get you back down from those speeds, could be a little stronger, but these aren't bad. They're sufficient. They're fine. But the way this motor spools up... I'm passing a Tesla right now. But the way this motor spools up, the electric whir that you get in your head, it makes you feel like you're engaging a warp drive. It's really an incredible experience, and I do not want to stop riding this. See, the problem with this motorcycle is that being this incredible doesn't come cheap. This thing is $20,000 normally, and that's just not practical for a commuter. Sure, if you've got the money, buy it. Don't even think about it. Put your money down online. You'll love it. But it's not practical as an only vehicle. Sure, you can take it through traffic like this. It's amazing. in traffic like this. With the regenerative braking, with the torque it has, there are few vehicles I would rather sit through stop-and-go traffic in. This is the future of motorcycling. But we don't live in a future that works for this bike, because it is a commuter. If it had the range, if it had the off-road prowess, sure, this could be an adventure bike. This could charge those sums, this could draw in those buyers. In that future, where power density is better, this is the perfect bike. But we're in this one, where this is a commuter. A hell of a commuter, an incredible commuter. But a commuter. It's the bike of the future, but the future we want, not the one we have.